Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of We Perceive As We Are. Today's just gonna be me as a solo host. If you remember my name, it's Lulu. If not, it's Lulu or Lulama. Okay, but let's start. Today's episode, I'm going to be continuing or getting into change, right? This specific episode is change within yourself. Nah. I might talk about other things, but this is just what I'm talking about. We've had multiple episodes about this topic, multiple episodes about either New Year's resolutions, change, this, that, and the third. But since it's just me, I feel like it's just going to be more of like a personal conversation. Just me and you guys. So, yeah. The thing about change, it can be really beep. I want to cuss, but you know what I mean. It's really suckish, right? And the reason why it can be suckish is because sometimes you can't anticipate it, you can't wait for it, you don't know when it's gonna come, you can't prepare for it, it just slaps you in your face. That's what I don't like about it, is that it'll just be like, hi, how are you look so pretty, like right there. Like that's what life can do to you. I'm not gonna lie, it's happened to me, it can happen to you, okay? But you can't avoid it. Sorry if I keep looking away, I'm just thinking, but you can't avoid it, right? And change is beautiful. That's the truth of it. Me personally, I feel like change is beautiful, and I've talked about it on multiple times on this podcast, multiple times in episodes, in person. Just change, can't run away from it. It's always gonna catch you. It'll bite you in your butt, okay? But it's beautiful and it's completely necessary. And when you take it into like bigger picture, it has to change. Like it has to move in order to live. The point of living for me is change, because you live to do something. To do something is a change. It's an indifference to what you've been doing. Because if change was important, you would wake up in the morning to go get a job, to go go to school, to write the test so you can leave. That change is there. Everyone is driving towards something that has something to do with change. Yeah? But too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. Not even just too much. Sometimes a good thing can be a bad thing. Nah, because that's what I'm saying. Change is necessary. Change is good. The amount of times I've said change is crazy. Excuse if you're irritated. I'm starting to get irritated too. But it's there. We've moved that part. It's important. It's great. It's all that, right? But for me personally, right, I've had to make purposeful change within myself, like intentional change. As I'm like, okay, Lulama, you have this, and this to sort out. Simple as that, right? And I have to put effort and work towards that change, right? But then there's sometimes that involuntary change where you wake up and something's different. Just like, it's not right. 1+1 is not 2 here. And that can be the confusing one, the very bad one, the one that I don't like, is when you don't know what's happening, you don't know the change, is just all over the place. Because me personally, I'm the type of person who enjoys control. I like knowing what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and why I'm doing it. Because I don't know if this is me being vulnerable or whatever, but it's because when I'm younger, even now in my life, or when I was younger, even now in my life, I lived a very spontaneous life, or I live a very spontaneous life. I travel a lot, I get to try different things because I unschool and stuff like that, and it's a very good thing. It's not a bad thing. I don't like it and stuff like that, but that happened in my formative years. Well, shit was still moving in my head, like I'm still growing. Brain stops developing at 25. I'm still young, y'all. So, but the type of person that I've recognized myself to be now is kind of the opposite of that. I think it's due to that. Who knows? But I know that I like order. I know when things are done. I'm not that spontaneous. If it had to be in my control, I like, surprise. Oh, you want to do that? Let's go do that. But like that can be a lot to me. It can be overwhelming if it had to be my personal choice. Because I feel like with spontaneity, you don't really did I say that correctly? I don't know, but you get what I mean. So it can be stressful, especially if you're the type of person like me who appreciates control, appreciates having things in order. Then yeah, but other than that, it's really stressful, right? Going back into that, sometimes you don't have control over such things. And I guess tips and tricks for working with that type of involuntary change, right? Could be walking yourself through it. Make a plan within the plan, like the hecticness. Even if you don't know what's going on around you, you know what's going on in you. That's what I felt has saved me from a lot of things, is that even though it seems crazy on the outside, as long as you've got order in your head, you're good. I'm so itchy, guys. Limpopo showing me flames with these bugs. But yeah, you know what I mean? Just as long as you have mental order, and that could be in you writing stuff down, noting it out, introspection, shadow work, journaling, whatever that could be. I've been wanting to get into journaling, but my consistency is not that great, I'm not gonna lie. But when it comes to talking to myself, girl, I talk to myself a lot. Introspection, I talk to myself a lot, and I feel like I'm self-aware due to that. But self-awareness has kind of trapped me with this whole change thing. I'll get into that later, but it kind of has. But like I was saying, nips and tricks to help, because I'm still figuring stuff out, but help with that involuntary change and to make it seem better is make a plan within that plan. As I was saying, that could be that, okay, you're going through a move. Because like I said, I used to move a lot. I didn't say that. Did I say that? But I said my life was kind of hectic where I travel a lot. Yeah, so when moving a lot, that would be in my control, because obviously, or not obviously, my parents would communicate, guys are going so and so, would you like, how do you feel about it, all of that. But guys, nevertheless, moving can be a very hectic thing. So in stuff like that, most things are not in your control, where you're moving to, your surroundings, who you're going to meet, the loss of your friends, all of that. Like I said, make order within your head. You don't have a plan outside. For me, I used to have this thing of I'd be the last to know things. It has damaged me. Okay, let me not say damaged, but I know how it affects me now. And that's just how I internalized it as a child. And now it's manifesting to me now, the teenager, which is weird. That's why, actually, side note, that's why introspection is so interesting. It's so interesting because you kind of figure out that, damn, that's why I'm like that. Oh, I know where that comes from, because now when I do something and I'm like, yo, that was quite out of me, it wasn't conscious. Like I said, going back, I like control. It wasn't conscious of me. Why wasn't it conscious? Why did I do that? And if I dig deep enough, it was like, oh, because I was younger, I felt like this, that, and the third. Therefore, now I act like this, that, and the third, which is a crazy thought. It's crazy thinking about it, that the slightest thing, and I wouldn't say trauma, because trauma is a very, very heavy word, but kids just internalize things differently. Not just kids, people internalize things differently, because such a small mundane thing, in the same topic of change, a small mundane thing can hit somebody. You, for instance, could hit you like 5%, like, ish, that was bad. But me or another person could hit me 50%, hit that other person 100%, because we just take stuff differently. That's the beauty in people, I also feel. And why through change communication is important. And when I say making a map for yourself within the chaos, is also communicating with yourself, is being okay. Are you okay? How is the change making you feel? Because sometimes change can be distracting. You think, I got this, you go through it, you flourish, then you realize the turmoil and how much that took out of you, and you have to go back and you have to speak to yourself and you have to listen to yourself, that okay, actually I wasn't cool with that, you know, that didn't hit me well, that made me feel a certain type of way, but due to a lot happening, I didn't have time to process that, and that's gonna only hit me after. And why, going back into why introspection is so important, is that so you can know why, as in knowing your triggers, knowing when you're happy, when you're not happy, stuff like that is important, right? And how introspection, still on the topic and change, but yeah, how introspection can help you, and just knowing yourself. Introspection and self-awareness, basically, is what I'm saying, is that, oh guys, designer bags here. But yeah, what I was gonna say is introspection and self-awareness, yes, is that when something happens and you feel a certain type of way, you can go back into yourself, since introspection and self-awareness is into identifying your emotions easier. You could be on some, okay, this and that made me feel this way, and you can reorganize your brain, fast back, and be at peace within your mind. Isn't that amazing? I don't know if this makes sense, but to me, it really, really, really helps. People say talking to yourself is crazy. It's really not. It's healthy. It's healthy. Because at the end of the day, you don't got nobody but yourself. And I'm not saying it in the way that, oh, you can't trust people, you don't need people to talk to, ain't nobody got your back but you type of vibe. I'm just saying that it's so important to have a relationship within yourself. Because as I said, change is it's ever changing, it's ever going to happen, it's not going to happen. And having yourself and knowing that you can deal with it at the end of the day is very important. Askis, these thumbs being uneven are very disrupting to me. And the dirty nails, but not dirty, just untidy. So yeah, important to have a good relationship with yourself. I don't know if you watched this episode that we made with my mom, and in that she said one of the things that she has strived to teach us was selfishness. And I really do agree that being selfish is a very, very good thing. Nah? Now we're leaping out of change, but change is forever. It's always in the background. Don't worry, it ain't gonna leave us. We're here, introspection and knowing yourself and why it's important, so on and so forth. So selfishness in introspection and self-awareness, is knowing yourself and taking care of yourself and loving yourself more than you love other people. Nah? Because when it comes to people pleasing tendencies, Zila has released an episode over that. I feel like in some way we've touched into that. It's very easy as a human species to want to think about another person and be like, but here, let me help you. But we've all heard the thing of you can't fill from an empty cup. And that's so true. So very true. So that's why I just feel like it's very important to take care of yourself. Not just for other people's sake, but for yourself. Because in change, you're going to need yourself. And life is ever changing. I've said this 1,000 times. But going back into introspection, right, is that knowing and being able to identify your feelings is a very important thing. It's a very important thing. Knowing to identify your feelings, knowing your triggers, what makes you happy, what makes you not happy is very important, because walking around confused and you're confused with yourself because nobody got the answers but you, boo. You can't say to another person, why am I feeling like this? Because they're going to only ask you questions that'll make you question yourself at the end of the day. Same thing that a therapist does. A therapist gets you to know you. All they can do is ask you questions and make you dig a little deeper into your own head. Nobody can do the work but you. That's still something that I'm personally getting into and personally accepting, that at the end of the day, you gotta put your best foot forward. You gotta have the motivation, you gotta have the drive, because no one can help you better than you can help yourself. Hashtag self-love. So I feel like that's all I have to say for today's episode featuring me, Lulu. So you'll let me know how you guys feel about this video, if you want more solo videos, and we will try to push for more guests. Unfortunately, things have been a bit in and out due to change of location and other circumstances, but that ain't your worry, so we'll try to be on it. And we have something special in mind for Valentine's Day, so that's definitely a conversations about love. So if you have any topic ideas on that genre, put them in the comment section, as well as what you think about the video and anything more that you want to hear from us. And that'll be it from We Perceive As We Are today. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe and do the most. So bye, love you.